Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose, folks? Good to have you guys here with us. We are broadcasting from the rainy national capital city of Georgetown, Guyana. But we got to do what we got to do. And we're so privileged to have each and every one of you with us here. Guys, weather-wise, you're going to want to know this. It's a 51% chance it's going to rain into the afternoon. It gets better into the evening, but we got rain we got rain. It's 27 degrees outside, and they say it feels, folks. Hmm. How does it feel? It feels rainy to me. But they're telling us it feels like 33 degrees outside. 33 degrees. That's what they say. It feels like outside. But good to have each and every one of you here with us. 27 degrees according to weather.com. As you know, this is our favorite spot to stop by to get a check on the weather. 27 degrees outside, a 51% chance it's going to rain into the afternoon. Walk with your raincoat and your umbrellas. That's how we tell you. Into the evening, there's a 24% chance, but overnight, it seems to get a little worse. 52% chance that it's going to rain overnight. Right now, we know it's wet outside. Be cautious on the roadways. If you're out there, if you're going to be heading out, folks, be cautious and think about the other person, please, and thank you. 27 degrees, but it feels like 33. And let's see what it says for the week. Let's see what it's telling us for the week ahead. Let's see if we can get it. Yep. Well, folks, rain in the forecast for the week. Full stop. Rain is in the forecast for the week. And again, we are so happy, so happy to have each and every one of you here with us, guys. We couldn't ask for a better crew to be spending the next few minutes with. Dropping by today, we're going to have joining us the man himself, Rickford Burke, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the PPP's coordinated attacks on critics there. Why is it not, just drink your water, mind your own business. That's what the government want you do. But we're Guyanese, and we know. Folks, we got to do what we got to do, right? And all are involved, all are consumers. One Guyana. It is one Guyana, not only in talks, folks, but in actuality, it is one Guyana. And we're going to be talking with some folks about what's happening around the place, talking with some folks, just trying to catch up and see how they're doing and how they're spending their time. Folks, tomorrow's International Women's Day. Do you know that? Do you know that? Tomorrow is International Women's Day, and we're wishing all of our women happy International Women's Day as we celebrate you folks and for all that you do for us as mothers, as sisters, as bosses, as wives, as spouse. You name it, right? We value our women folk. We value them. We value them, folks. We value them. Good to have each and every one of you with us, folks. And we couldn't ask for really truly better folks to be spending this time with. All right, I'm getting comfortable at the back this way. And again, so good to see so many of you guys joining us. Oh, the comments already gone up. Carlotta Ronalds is here. Michelle Cox is here. I see Pamela Sanchari is here. I see all the other folks are here with us. And as I said, we're going to be talking with Rickford Burke. Folks, last evening, we had a ring program with a different host, Alison Hunt. Alison Hunt took the program last evening, apparently. The bell was there, everything. More power to Alison. More power to Alison. Alison Hunt, folks, y'all know who Alison is. Don't play a card. Don't take a peep at Alison every now and again. Don't play them things with me. Don't come wrong with funny like that. Folks, good to see Alex Boom is here. Alex Boom. Donna Liverpool is here as well. Dan Gravesandi, Irwin Don Cook, Claire Capel, Joel Bristol McKend is here. Kurt Heidecken is here as well. Michaela Webster is here as well. And Michaela says, oh, the comments are going by so fast. Michaela probably wants to know what I was doing. And Allison, she says, all now, your own business does give me headache. And everyone needs a little laughter. All now, your own business does give headache. And everyone needs a little laughter and relief, which comes from other people's business, preferably the government. It's true. It's true. It's true, Michaela. It's true thing you're saying there. Philippa Pearson, we see you there. Rowena Williams and George Blackman. Lester Williams. All the Williams here, apparently. All the Williams here. I hope you all bring lunch. Don't just show up. Marcel Williams is here too. Wendy Rowland is here too. Erwin Don Cook from the West Side. Erwin, how is the West Side doing? Good to see you. Edward Gonzalez is here from the Bronx, folks. Pace and power from the Bronx. Edward Gonzalez is here. Good to see you, Edward. And Laverne is here too. Laverne, Vashti Magnol from Waterloo, Canada. Fitz Gulliver is here as well. Yolanda and Sharon McKenzie. Mavis is here too. Mavis is here. Claire Alexis Charmley. Richmond is here as well. And Kurt Heidekin, they're here too. Kurt Heidekin is here as well. Kurt Heidekin is here as well. You know, I feel like just calling a colleague and trying to check in to see how they're doing. Let me see if they might be surprised. All right. Let me see if they might be surprised. Let me see if they might be surprised. All right. Might be able to take a call. But I know Mr. Rickford Burke is going to join us. Right, folks? So share the live stream for us. Smash that emoji button. I'm doing all the actions here to share and to smash. I'm doing I'm doing all the heavy lifting at this end. I'm doing all the share, doing my hand movements, folks, and the smash. How you guys are doing? How was the weekend, man? How was the weekend? Huh? How was the weekend? How was the weekend? Folks, apologies. Calling people calling me too. People calling me too. Folks, how was the weekend? How was the weekend? How are you guys doing? Good to see each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from. George Blackman, we see you there. Savitri, Savitri, how are you doing? Savitri Rose, Savitri said the weekend was too short. Savitri, I feel my spine. My spine tingle when it's the weekend too short. I believe you. Good to see Savitri and June Daniels, McKennan, all the other wonderful, beautiful, uncontroversial, peace loving folks like Prince Hadari and Waveney Adams, Myrna Toby, and Fenton Hosanna. Good to have all you beautiful folks join us. Sonia Williams Jilks, good to have you here. Guys, wherever you're joining us from, do us the privilege, the absolute privilege of our life, and share the live stream for us. Share a podcast so that other folks get the valid and credible information. The valid and credible information. And we get this information out there and in circulation. Good to have every one of you. A blessed weekend to you too down in Liverpool. Peggy, Russell, Elias, we see you. Peggy's joining us from Maryland, guys. Can you believe that? How's the weather there, Peggy, in Maryland? Chisung Henry, I see you. We see you, boo. Good to see you. Chisung is here. Lorraine is here as well. Lorraine Garnett. Good to see you, Lorraine. Yes, I'm Lorraine from Bronx. Yeah. Maureen Monroe is here. Guys, good to see so many of you. Wills Felix Scamone is here. Rockcliffe Paris is here too. Rockcliffe the Bout. Rockcliffe the Bout. Folks, take a second and share the live stream. I'm taking that opportunity as well to share the live stream and to smash the emoji button. Smash that emoji button. How you guys are doing? How you guys are doing? Good to have you guys. Folks, you all know this administration we have. These guys aren't dealing too well with criticism. And that is our topic of discussion for today. That's the topic on the menu. Folks, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? What is for lunch? Besides the fact that the installation crew, they seem to be taking to these They don't seem to be owning up to these to criticisms too well. It's not a thing. Right? Criticism and so on is not their thing, folks. It is not their thing. It is not. It is not. It's just not. We can't lie to y'all. CC, like how we can lie to CC? It's not their thing. They're not handling it well. Karen Clark, good to see you. Karen Clark, good to see you. They're not. And so, folks, like we said, we gotta do what we gotta do. A lot of folks can do what they gotta do. We kind of drinking we water, minding we own business. If other people minding we business, so be it. So be it. Alison Hunt last night was all up in country business. So be it. That's what other people want to do. But you all know we's altar boys here. We don't get in problems. We don't trouble people. We just stick to the straight and the narrow. The straight and the narrow on the information. Valid and credible. Good to see you, Maureen Williams. I see you there. Good to see you. Maureen says it's 8:25. Maureen, where's 8:25? You're in Beijing. You in the Nihao land. Got to be in Beijing at being 8:20, or you're in London. Could be London. 8:25 in London. Remember that one time I thought about going to London. I thought about going to Beijing that one time. Jacqueline, how you doing? Folks, so as I said, the guys aren't handling criticisms well. Right. But the truth hurts. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. That's all we're gonna say. The truth hurts. Right? And before the program wraps up, we're gonna talk about our big debut in Alison Hunt's program. Just where we come in on Alison's program. We're gonna locate that and give you guys a listen to Bacchanal. To Bacchanal. That being said, folks, take a listen to what Irfan said recently. This was just over the weekend. He was talking to journalist extraordinaire, Big Uncle Gordon Mose. He was talking to Gordon. And again, they have been on this theme of the critics. They unlike the critics. And just maybe, we're gonna get we're gonna ask the guys to pull up the one from we will take it from the independent speech. Right? We're gonna take it from the independent speech. Right? And we're gonna play what was said over the weekend. And even more recent to that, other other things that were said. Folks, they're not handling criticisms very well at all. Right? At all. They're not handling it well at all. And guys, as we hold a sec just for the guys to pull that up, I'd intend to play just some over the weekend, but I'll give you greater context to show that we've been doing our homework. We don't just meet up. You see, that's the thing kicking in. That's the thing kicking in. Dong dong dong. That's the thing kicking in. So we're gonna play that, bring that up for you, and show you. They're suddenly on this whole thing. You can't talk, you can't say anything. The vex with you. Well, who vex can lose? Who vex? Right? Who vex? That is that. If that's how they operate, that's how they operated. Full stop. But everything went to the critics. That's the thing that they've been on. The truth hurts, as somebody says. That is the note that they have been on. And the guys are trying their best to bring up the one from the Republic Day message by Irfan Ali, where all the time they're spending on the critics. It's always the critics. Right? And we could even take it from their Irfan's rant about the international journalists who come here and don't know this and don't know that, but who don't know Guyana. Right? So that's one measure that you don't know Guyana. So how you can you criticize? But we right here who know Guyana, it's a different yardstick then. So apparently only if you know Guyana, you can voice an opinion. It's madness. Right? Hear what he said about a particular journalist who don't know Guyana. So what you can tell me? What you could teach me?
The question is, why are we here? Why Guyana?
Tell us.
An
Catfish.
international journalist, and we're having a lot of international journalists becoming experts in Guyana, and we welcome them. We're very welcoming to the media. You're part of our development story. So,
Yep, yep. So that was a reference to Isabel Young at the recently passed International Energy Expo and Conference. Right? So you can be an expert on Guyana. But those of us who are right here and on experts and are experts on Guyana, suddenly we can't talk. There is a different yardstick that is being used. We can't talk because what we know. What do we know? Well, I can tell you all we know a couple things. And the guys are still searching assiduously for that particular. You see, when we finish with these things after the month, we store them away. So they are going through a set. Because it's paint a picture. We're connecting the dots. We connecting the dots. It's only some people can talk, some people must criticize, some people must do this, some people must do that. No, no, no. But as long as we have life and we see things out of place, we can continue to comment. And we encourage you to do so. We encourage you to do so. If I don't rice we. That's not what you said. If I don't rice we, you don't rice we. They have not been dealing with criticisms very, very well at all. And we're going to continue to show you that. Right? And again, that was a major part of the Independence Republic message. And just over the weekend here, again, he went back on this theme about the critics. Here is Irfan in this exchange with journalist Gordon Mosley.
So I just want to make a few points. First of all, my government and the PP civic government believe strongly that civil society has an important role to play in any democratic society.
Mm-hmm.
But civil society, a role cannot be convenient, or the truth cannot be convenient. And we cannot confuse civil society with individual organizations. That is, organizations that are run by individuals or are not open to the wider membership of our country. These organizations cannot be the conscience of truth or the conscience of society
How
when they are
come?
convenient in the way they address issues.
How come?
Many of the organizations had nothing to say after the no confidence motion. They had nothing to say during the 5 months of impasse where our country integrity and credibility was damaged because of what took place. Today, we we were
Madness. Madness, people. Madness. Right? And that is madness. And we've said so on this program because you didn't comment on something some time ago. It negates that you comment on something now. That is madness. That's madness. Right? So we're not going with that. We're not buying that. We're not buying that. And just today, or rather yesterday, in its editorial, Starbucks News responded to that, right? And Starbucks News said that is madness. Starbucks News responded. Starbucks News, a pretty middle of the road broadcast, media house, newspapers. Starbucks News said, we are not going to buy that. And I said, they're right. Hear what they said about this foolishness. The editorial is titled Critics. This is yesterday's editorial. And it refers to that by saying you cannot always, let me locate their words, right? Let me locate their words. This is madness. You can't criticize now one man organization and all of that. When y'all had y'all one man organization criticizing selectively different issues, Ghana Policy Forum and all kinds of folks, hold my shut, right? Hold my shut, hold my shut, hold my shut. Locating in our notes the precise section I want to quote for you because the editorial responds to that, right? Because somebody didn't say something 2 months ago discredits them from speaking up now. That cannot be. It cannot be. Right? Here what the editorial says. It does not follow that because an organization did not speak out in 2020, it should be debarred from making adverse comments on the current situation. If that position were to be accepted, a huge section of the population would be effectively excluded from expressing adverse views on what is happening now, since there would be advance notice that none of them would be taken seriously. This is not a situation normally associated with healthy democracies, although Freedom House does not seem to have noticed since it is forever promoting its democratic credentials. You know what Starbuck News say? Let me tell you how Starbuck News can say. Starbuck News really want to say they are hypocrites. Or as Priya Manik-Chan spelled the word on social media, hippocytes. That is what they are. Hippocytes. Hypocrites and hippocytes. Right? Hypocrites and hippocytes. Right? Hypocrites and hippocytes. Good to have each and every one of you joining us. Good to have each and every one of you here. Guys, share the live stream for us. So that's what Starbuck News said. And we're queuing up the bit now from his, what do you want to call it? His Republic, his Republic anniversary address. Our Republic anniversary address, we're going to be queuing it up from there. Right? We're going to be queuing it up from there. And you hear somebody take his earphone talking, but the critics, all of a sudden, Starbuck News call it a coordinated, right? Now we decent. Starbuck News call it a coordinated attack on its critics. Coordinated attack. So I want you to take a listen to some of what came out in the anniversary, the Republic anniversary message by Irfan Ali. And we're going to pick up some of that audio from one of the programs we did, and we featured this very audio. So you might just hear some of me. Take a listen, folks. Take a listen.
Challenges and threats. Notwithstanding, and importantly, as a people, we were resilient, focused, and resolute in our desire for a democratic, free, peaceful, and prosperous Guyana. As a people, We have endured many challenges, some self-inflicted, some imported, and some manufactured for a self-agenda. Tonight, I've decided to directly address what is required from each of us as Guyanese to advance this country and create the one Guyana. By now, we're all aware of the potential that exists. We all recognize what is needed to ensure that that potential is transferred into results that would bring a better life for every Guyanese. From the inception, let me be clear, I and my government are supportive of constructive criticism. To advance our one Guyana as a society, we must have healthy debates, exchange of views, and critical examination of policies, programs, initiatives, and plans. However, these discussions must not be based. These discussions must not be based on a selfish agenda, biasness, perception, propaganda, and feelings. Instead, they must be firmly rooted in facts and a pragmatic understanding of what is required in this rapidly changing Guyana. On this, our 52nd year of our republic, I wish to humbly examine 10 areas in which we, as a people, must
Yep. So you've heard there is a consistent team now. They don't like the critics. No. They don't want criticisms. They don't like the critics. It's the critics and naysayers. He and Bellies, he called from Bellies to attack civil society organization who wrote against his administration. They come back, the whole press conference, they're attacking critics. Right? Well, we believe critics make the world a better place. Full stop. And we're privileged to have joining us today out of New York, folks, the president of the Caribbean Guyana Institute of Democracy, CGID, the one and only Rickford Burke. Rickford, I know you're a busy man on the ground. As a matter of fact, we're catching you on the sidelines of a meeting, but we're so privileged to have you as part of the program. Nonetheless, welcome, sir. All right, hold on, Rickford. Let me make sure that we have you. Hold on, let me make sure we have you crystal clear. Bear with us for a second. Bear with us, Rickford. Bear with us, Rickford. Folks, we're going to have Rickford in very shortly. I think we might have him now. Rickford.
Yes, good morning.
Come through, sir. I was telling the audience,
Can you hear me?
Very clear now. I was telling the audience we're catching you on the sidelines of a important meeting at your. I know you're always busy on the ground there, so we're very privileged to have you with us, nonetheless. And
My pleasure.
we're talking about the anti-criticism PPP. Well, they won't like you. They won't like you even more. And we've traced for our listeners that even before the Republic anniversary, they were very veiled threats. I mean, I criticize them on a daily basis because of the nonsense that they're doing. I up a cold step. You are wanted. You had a wanted bulletin issued against you, but they've now removed the veil and they've come out full over the last weekend attacking folks. And we've traced from the Republic anniversary message to last weekend, the attack on critics of the government. What is next? Rickford.
Well, the PPP is a communist government, and they're not. They don't believe in an open society. They believe in a one-party state, and that's where they want to take the country. And so I think all Guyanese must guard against that and fight that. They don't believe in people expressing, utilizing their constitutional rights. They don't think that you must assemble and protest against them. They think that them and their supporters are the only Guyanese. Everybody else is not Guyanese, and they believe that only them and their supporters should benefit from Guyana's wealth and natural patrimony. And I think Guyanese um, must fight against that. And you mentioned that they arrested you. Wow, they arrested you because you're criticizing the government. They're trying to use cybercrime legislation to stifle free speech, and Guyanese must fight against that. They like to say that when you talk about these things, you're inciting people against them. Well, they could go to hell. And you mentioned that they put out the wanted bulletin for me. I'm listen. They will have to kill me, Sharad. They will have to kill me to stop talking. And when they kill me, there'll be serious consequences for the country. And they continue to do these things to incite their racist supporters to attack people. If you notice, before they put out the wanted bulletin for me, their racist supporters were saying, arrest him and take him back to Guyana, let's kill him, let's waddle him, let's Tommy wing him. And they embrace the kind of language. So they feed red meat to their supporters. You notice that the civil society group over the last weekend criticized them, and the civil society groups said exactly what CGID has been saying. They're not accountable. They think they own the country. They think the government belongs to them, and they use this phony argument of the Reconquer Pass to say that the opposition has forfeited some right. And the civil society groups. But
Great
we
ahead.
noticed one ambassador. We noticed one ambassador um, retired and then started to work in the gold industry in Guyana. We heard another ambassador is building a mansion on the East Coast. So we don't know why these people are silent, and we know the PP has a capacity for bribes. Ask Sue. Ask Sue. So, so
Osu?
who? Yeah,
Osu?
Sue. That same Sue. Yeah, ask that same Sue about the capacity of the PPP to either take bribes or induce people. So I don't know why the international community is silent, but the country belongs to everybody. And like I say, it's either we are one Guyana and everybody benefit or no Guyana, because Guyana is going to end up being a failed state.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally. But in all respects and honesty, the PP has just been
Mm,
unmasked. They have never done well with criticism. And,
mm,
when they had organizations aiding and betting in their installation, it wasn't critics and naysayers and people who don't want to see the development of Guyana. They were guardians of democracy, right? Now the fight has been brought to their doors, and they got all of these contentions. Here is Starbucks News over the weekend in an editorial with the very
yeah.
same title: Critics. The header of the editorial, it says, it does not follow, which goes to a point you made early on, Rickford. It does not follow that because an organization did not speak out in 2020, it is debarred from making adverse comments on the current situation. If that position were to be accepted, a huge section of the population would be effectively excluded from expressing adverse views on what is happening, since there will be advance notice that none of them will be taken seriously.
Well, of course, Sheridan, Starbucks News is late to the dance because Starbucks News has been encouraging the ethnic triumphalism of the PPP.
Mhm.
Starbucks News has been a part of it. Starbucks News is part of the ethnic media that encourages the PPP to be racist. Don't speak out. against PPP racism did not speak out when they only give their own ethnic supporters flood relief money, and when they were only going to give their own ethnic supporters um, uh, COVID relief money, when they're only giving ethnic supporters um, contracts from the government, when they're committing procurement fraud, when they're changing the law to give themselves the power to withdraw all the money from the Natural Resource Fund or the Sovereign
Yes,
Wealth
correct.
Fund. Starbuck News has been silent. So they are late to the dance, and that's why the people will respect them, because they know that they are encouraging them and they're part of the ethnic supremacy that the PPP is trying to establish in Guyana. But everybody is one, Sherrod. Let me talk. Let me get into the parlance. Alawi is one, and the
Talk the
PPP and
things.
their racist supporters don't own the country, and so Guyanese have to stop looking to the U.S. ambassador when she going. Stop looking to Biden when Biden coming to save us. Stand up and fight for yourself. Every Guyanese own Guyana. Every Guyanese own the oil. And what is happening, Sherrod, and I've been warning about it for the longest while, the PPP is transferring Guyana's wealth to their East Indian supporters, not even East Indians, their East Indian supporters. And again, I'm ringing the alarm bell by the time we catch ourselves, right? All the money gone done. The expatriates going to take all the money out of the country, and what is left, the PPP will enrich themselves, their families, and their ethnic supporters. We must not allow that to happen. Everybody must benefit equally. And I notice whenever I say that they object, are they objecting to equality? Are they objecting to equitable governance? So those people who are opposed to what I'm saying are opposed to equality in Guyana, are opposed to every Guyanese benefiting from the natural resources of our country, from the wealth of our country, and from the natural patrimony. We must not allow it to happen.
Well said, Rickford. Transparency and accountability, Rickford, seems to be what people are going after, these civil society organizations who have spoken out. Transparency and accountability. I know your organization, by its very name, supports transparency and accountability as part of the democratic ethos. Your organization being the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy. As the editorial I've read said, they expose the PP, expose the democratic credentials, but they're anything but democratic, because we understand this is a party that produced Gokul Budu, who they want to give the one seat and give them a one seat majority in 2010 and ended up handing them a minority government when Vincent Alexander picked up on the issue. So they know not much
Yeah,
transparency and democracy, but they talk a lot of talk during the campaign, and now they have gone back to their true nature.
and Sharad, you know why they do that? We allow them to do it. We allow them to get away with it. We allowed Barjack there to get up there with, like, if he's self-righteous, sanctimonious self, and talk crap about who rig elections and who don't believe in democracy and who corrupt. Barjack there. Imagine Barjack there is a standard bearer of the PPP. The man is the most corrupt politician in the region,
Yep.
and he
Yep.
is this standard, and he's out there attacking people. I noticed he attacked Vincent Adams, Dr.
Yep.
Vincent Adams,
But
and
why?
call him a
My
liar.
thing is,
Dr.
why
Vincent,
don't they have their press conferences, their post cabinet briefings, and so on with proper journalists,
right?
right? With respected journalists who can
You
put questions to them and have follow up questions and have them respond.
no, listen, the premier journalist of Guyana for the PUP is a critic. That's
But
who Barjack there
what
goes,
I
because
shame.
he knows that he's not going to get questioned. He's not going to get questioned about anything sensible. I don't even know if critics completed high school, but that's who Jack there goes to. And on the transparency issue, it is very important because, for instance, they're withdrawing funds from the natural resource, no accountability. We don't know anything about the oil lifts of Guyana. We don't know who has contracts they're selling oil to. We don't know these things. We have asked, you guys have asked in the parliament for a long time now about the names of people who got government contracts, companies who got government contracts, and the owners list them, list the people who got flood relief, billions of Guyanese dollars, no transparency. And they're arguing that we don't have empirical evidence to support racism. But that's where the evidence there. So if you want to argue that you're not racist, release the names of the people who got the flood relief funds. If you're not racist, release the names of the people who got in contract. If you're not contracts on the government, if you're not racist, release the names of the companies that you've signed contracts with billions of dollars, especially infrastructure contracts. Release the names and release the names of the owners of those companies. Let me go to the party, man. If you are saying we are talking nonsense, we don't have evidence about your racism, let me know who you're giving money to. We're going to see that. So there's no transparency. You know, I noticed the American ambassador on anti-corruption, they made some little insignificant statement about anti-graft legislation. Listen, if you look at how the Biden administration is moving, they're concerned about procurement corruption. Listen to what the British ambassador just said. She's concerned about that, that the procurement laws aren't strong enough. They break up the procurement commission.
Yeah.
They have their own people running the tender board. That's where the corruption is.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
transparency is important, and we are going to push. We're going to have a big conference up here about transparency and governance in Guyana, right? And the Biden administration will participate, members of Congress going to participate, businesses doing work in Guyana, U.S. businesses going to participate, and we are going to talk about the governance of Guyana and transparency of the governance, and we'll see where it goes. Because we are waiting till next 5 years to talk about, oh, if you don't like the government, vote them out. No, the country belongs to every Guyanese. Not Bar Jack there alone. The country belongs to everybody, not Orphanali alone, not the people in region 5 and region 6 and region 2 and region 3 alone. Every goddamn Guyanese own the country. And that's what we must talk about and push them. If they're the government, they're the installed government, Sharad. Whether
Yep.
we like it or not,
Yep.
they're the government. Then they have to govern the country for everybody. But they're adopting Trumpism, right? Oh, I only, only my racist supporters are the ones that I'm going to govern for. Only my racist supporters will get government contracts. Only my racist supporters will benefit from the oil money. Hell no. Guyanese have to grow some kahunas and confront this government.
Agreed. Agreed. Now, there is this situation. You talk about Dr. Vincent Adams being attacked by Jack Dew and his cabal. Um, Again, for trying to be a decent professional person and serve this country, Christopher Ram, along with Dr. Adams, were nominated to be part of the directorate of the Natural Resources Fund Board. Of course, through their jiggery pokery in the National Assembly, they appointed Dunson Barrow as the parliamentary representative on that board. It's manageable. It's a set piece, Rickford. You understand that? It's a set piece. Now, Irfan was asked that over the weekend, and Irfan's contention was the opposition at one point said that Christopher Ram wasn't fit and proper to be chief elections officer, CEO of GCOM. So how come now we recommended Christopher Ram for the NRF? Mind you, Christopher Ram was their nominee for CEO of GCOM. I just want to put it out there. Here is Irfan, very animated when he was asked that question quite recently, Rickford. I want you to take it on the other side. I think we have it. Do we? 1 second.
Look at the duplicity, right? When we had the nomination for the chair of GCOM, remember what it said? Look at one name. Christopher Ram was not fit and proper. Remember that? Oh no. The same very people saying Mr. Christopher Ram is fit and proper. That is why I'm telling you. Agenda, agenda, agenda. Look at the
Yep,
duplicity.
yep, yep. That's the fella, right? This is a man that they recommended. Surely they would have vetted him. He would have been of fit and proper in their books, right? And you offering up now, and they don't want the same man that a couple of months ago they were fighting on the nation. It's a no man's land apparently for Christopher Ram. Rickford.
No, but Sharad, he has taken jackass and stupidity to the next level. What has Christopher Ram been nominated as chairman of GCOM? and the opposition nominating Christopher Ram to be on the Natural Resources Board got to do with anything.
You're only
Or
good
Flanny
unless
don't get
they
to
say you're
tell.
good.
Exactly. They don't get to tell the country who must be on what board. The opposition's prerogative is to nominate somebody. And Sherrod, I don't believe the government has. But you see, we in Guyana, we don't take these things to court. The opposition doesn't take these things to court. That's their nominee. The opposition doesn't get to tell. The government doesn't get to tell the opposition who they must nominate. And you see, that is why they're trying to form a one-party state where PPP East Indians must dominate everything. And I'm very disappointed in Dunstan Barrow. I know Mr. Barrow very well, but Mr. Barrow must not encourage this government with corruption and bad governance. He should not have accepted that nomination. Unless he should tell the government, no, go with whomever the opposition has nominated. That's what they should do. Everybody in Guyana has to put their hands together and fight this government. It is not a normal government. What they're doing is pushing the country towards dictatorship and a one-party state where they want to use ethnic supremacy as the underpinning philosophy of government. It should not be accepted. And then they go and throw in one and two black people who are house slaves or who are glad for the opportunity, and then say, well, look, we have a multicultural society and whatever it is, but these people don't have any independence of thought. They got to do barjack, they'll tell them. And I am being very frank because I live in a society where we're not scared to discuss race. In Guyana, they try to use race as a taboo subject and to say if you discuss race, then you're racist. No, what we're doing is fighting racism, and we're fighting PPP racism, and their attempt to establish one ethnic supremacy, like white supremacy in America. That's what they're trying to do. And two, they want to dominate everything in the country. They want to take up all the political space, as Desmond Hoyt used to say.
Control
That's not their
freakism.
prerogative. They don't own the
According to
country.
Kemraj Ramjitan, control freakism. Right? It's not a good day for them unless they're in charge. They in charge everything. And everything is falling apart. That's the sad point. If they were in charge and want to be totally in charge and doing things properly and the right way and things were blossoming, right? Rickford, when people call you alpha smart business and tell you things tight, believe them. Believe them. Chicken now is 500,
I
560,
I didn't get to
600 a
I
pound.
didn't get exactly inflation, and that's why there was the economic technical team attached to the or enacted in the legislation for the to govern the natural resources fund, because you have to have a team of technicians determining how to withdraw these funds to make sure that you don't deplete the funds completely and all of that. And it is these kinds of things that would lead to inflation. And that is exactly what is beginning to happen. Food prices are going up sky high, 100%, 200%. But in addition to that, Sherrod, I want to go back, and I got to go in 5 to 10 minutes. Well, 4 to 5 minutes. I want to talk about Dr. Vincent Adams.
Go right ahead, Chief.
Imagine a man like a two-bit hustler like Bar Jagdeo.
You giving hustlers a bad name now.
Is telling a man of the integrity of Dr. Vincent Adams. And let me tell Guyanese who Dr. Vincent Adams is. Dr. Vincent Adams was an assistant secretary of the U.S. Department of Energy. This is not no flunky. The man was part of the U.S. government at the senior level. So you imagine an assistant secretary of state. He was an assistant secretary of the Department of Interior, where he was the second tier cabinet he is part of the second tier cabinet of the United States government. And Bar Jagdeo is questioning his integrity.
Yeah,
a liar, a cheat, an alleged corrupt man.
Who was an
the most
honorary
corrupt racist
doctorate
politician in the Caribbean, calling Dr. Vincent Adams a liar and questioning his integrity. How dare him? How dare him?
Precisely.
But they don't have respect for black professionals. That's the thing. Every black professional, even if you come from Harvard, and Bar Jagdeo went to community college in Russia and called himself big doctor because he got a doctorate from some
honorary doctorate
university in India, who give him an honorary doctorate, right? And he questioning the integrity of Vincent Adams.
Well, you know, Rickford, you got to be a little understanding because their take on a professional person is Kwame McCoy and his ilk. So they won't want Dr. Vincent Adams. Kwame McCoy is the example of a professional. I know you got to run, Rickford. I want to thank you for coming on short notice and spending this time with us, my brother. Thanks for the work you
Sure,
guys
it
are
was a
doing
pleasure.
out
Take
there.
care. Coming from today, sunny New York, sunny, warm New York. A different thing tonight, though.
Uh-huh. What is the weather expected to be?
Well, today is going to be 71. Right now, it's 75, 65. It's expected to go up to 71. And then tonight is going to be 30 something.
Uh-huh.
So we still have to wear our warm clothing because we can get caught tonight if we don't.
Well, I'll only say, Rickford, that we have fairly decent weather here, and you're always welcome.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
You're always welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Have a good day, everybody.
I know you got to run.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. That being said, folks, I have a special treat for you because tomorrow is International Women's Day, and I have two nice young ladies who are going to be joining us. All right. I got two fairly nice and decent young women who are going to be joining us. I'm certain you know MP Natasha Singh Lewis, and you know the one and only Kamal Prasad is going to be joining us as well. MP Natasha Singh Lewis, happy International Women's Day Eve.
Thank you so very much, Sherrod. And thank you for having me on Below the Belt.
You're one of the only people who call my name right. Good to have you and welcome. I'm gonna bring in Kamal as well. She's another one of our favorite persons to have on the program. She's a busy woman. Kamal always busy. She knows she needs to
I
come by.
know.
She knows she needs to come by more often, but she's one of them bad name children that you get. You just gotta keep trying with them and hope they come the right way. Fantastic former deputy mayor of Bartica, Region 7, and also currently the vice chair of Region 7. And you know, Kamal is not one for titles and so on. This is a woman who likes to be, she's a lot like us, just likes to be on the ground and getting work done. You understand me?
Yes.
Getting work done. And we're going to add her in just, yeah. And she's here with us. Kamal Prasad. Welcome to Below the Belt and happy International Day Eve 2022. How are you doing, Kamal? Welcome. I have with us
I'm
Natasha Singh Lewis, the member of parliament.
I'm doing I am doing excellent,
I know you're doing
MP
excellent,
Sherrod
and I know
Johnson,
why. I've been
and my
following your Facebook
beautiful
posts. Talk to
MP
us.
Natasha Singh. A very pleasant day to you both and to everyone tuned in to your program. A very pleasant day to each and every one of you.
Awesome. Really good to have you ladies here with us as International Women's Day beckons. And the theme for today, I want to quote it right. Lisa, I get into some problems. I want to quote the theme for International Women's Day correctly. And it is gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. I know that you guys have been blazing the trail, both involved in politics, both are vibrant, fiery women. Both have to contend in a quote unquote male dominated world. But you have been making a name for yourself, making strides in this world, and I wanna commend both of you for your hard work, always with the people in mind, always with the people in mind. But you know, there's still lots of work to be done, and when we look around in our own society, you know, at how things are going, we don't even have to be political, you know. In Bartica, nothing irregular, from police to issues with the boat association, you know, it doesn't augur well, right? Where should our minds be, ladies? What should we be thinking? You know, International Women's Day 2022. How far have we come? And how farther still do we have to go?
Sherrod, we have come a far way. Why do I say that? The global the Global 2010 Global Status on Women in Parliament report ranked Guyana at 25th on the scale of 186 countries with 30% of its members of parliament are female. That is significant work for us. I say that at the beginning to say that where we are now, we are retrogressing. We have seen what is happening in parliament with our government male members of parliament being abusive. One in particular has earned the title of sexual harassment to his belt in the parliament, because we know that sexual harassment allegation he would have earned way back in the previous PPP government. So that's nothing new. We are in a time where I believe God is coming for his world. What do I mean by that? The world knows that the longest serving female member of parliament in Guyana is Gail Teixeira. And as I speak with you today, the records will show that this female member of parliament, the longest standing female member of parliament, took to the National Assembly a motion that sends 4 female members of parliament of the opposition to the Privileges Committee. As I speak with you here today, those 4 members of parliament, along with the others, had to respond to the National Assembly. And this is a response that was engineered by this a longest serving member of parliament, Gail Teixeira. And a response had to be presented to say why you should not be disciplined. And many of us in that privilege committee, we have no idea why we're there. That's one. The allegations against us are malicious and false, unfounded. And we're here today as representative of the people of this country because we are elected officials. We are placed before a committee to explain ourselves. That is something for us to reflect upon and to look forward to the next report, what they're going to say about the women in parliament, what the global status report will say about us. Sharad, we have a lot of work to do to stop harassment, to stop sexual harassment, to stop abuse of women. And we in the parliament and all the female elected officials, and I can speak on behalf of the female elected officials on the opposition side, we will make the effort to ensure that this kind of behavior does not go on, even if it's being led by another woman.
Yep. Kamal, jump right in. How far have we come? With the work to advance the causes of women, how far still we gotta go?
Well, listening to my sister highlight from a higher level where women in Guyana have come, and what I would say are some of my personal experiences, serving in the capacity as deputy mayor and now vice chairperson for Region 7. And also the hashtag for this International Women's Day is Break the Bias. And as you said, gender equality and so forth. But as a young woman in a leadership position, there are other young women as well. When you sit around these very tables and the language that we hear from fellow male leaders, it is quite disheartening to say that we have come so far, but yet there's so much more work to do where respect given to female in whatever position. And I would like to focus in on the women in the workplace, women all across Guyana and what they face, the injustices that they face. If we're going to talk about gender equality, for me, my focus would be what is happening right in our country. The injustices, for example, the young female that was shot in her abdomen, allegedly by someone in authority.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of justice? The many, many women who cry out within the workplace of sexual harassment, sexual advances that is being made towards them, and the silence that they have to keep just in order to be able to earn a living to provide for their children. Where is the equality of where these women on a daily basis face up with all forms of injustices? We're not just talking about in the domestic setting in their household with their intimate partners. And really, if we're going to break that, if we're going to break the bias, if we're going to fight for gender equality, we have to start with what is happening and address it and do not turn a blind eye. In many, many cases recently, wherever a woman is involved, you can almost be certain something that a woman endured. You can almost be certain that she will not get the justice that she deserves,
Mm-hmm.
whether
Mm-hmm.
it's in the home or the
Mm-hmm.
workplace. And for me to be on your program, Sharad, and to pretend as though, yes, it's such a wonderful thing to see so many women in parliament and women serving for the longest time in parliament and so forth. Yes, that is applaudable. But what happens to the majority of women that are being victimized,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
marginalized, that are being denied justice? Are we really in a society that is respectable to our women folk, that celebrates our young women, that shows them that there is a place for them on any platform, in any sector, without them being discriminated against, without them having to face personal challenges? There are many, many talented women, women who would make great leaders, but just because of what they see and what they know their fellow women endure, they shy away from it. And just to highlight the very cases with Parliament being so open in the public and hearing the remarks from the highest level, then you don't want me to say what happens when I sit at the RDC and
Yeah.
a counselor who may not
Yep.
share the same political affiliation as me um, wants to attack me.
Still a
You
far way to
understand?
go.
So it is quite a disturbing thing. And I think that despite there are so many women that should be celebrated, we should be celebrating. Yes, it's not all nice and rosy. And it's not like the old people would say, it's not a bed of roses for women like myself. And I can speak on my personal experiences. It takes a lot to get to where we are as women and to be able to stand firm and strong. And many times because we have a voice and we use it and we speak out, it makes it harder for us to even get by, to serve in the capacity that we have to serve in.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
as
Yep.
we celebrate International Women's Day and all the achievement of women around the world, I must say that I'm very proud to see a lot of female leaders doing excellent globally in their countries as good leaders, uniting their country, implementing policies that would be for the general development of the country rather than the biases of developing part of the country for whatever reason. In Guyana, we have a great opportunity to set a different example for the women, for the young girls, because we all know women are the backbone of the family, of society. Women make great leaders. That is tried and proven, Sharad, and I think my sister Natasha will agree with me,
as exemplified by you folks, by you women who serve at the highest
right?
levels and
And
serve with distinction.
Guyana has the natural women in Guyana can do so tremendously, but when you have such a nasty culture within the political arena of where women it seems like a norm where you can lash out at a woman and say dirt and things that shouldn't even be said in any way and form to a woman. It
Yeah,
says, what kind of respect do you have for women? We
yeah,
cannot deny the fact that every human being on this earth came from a woman. The
yeah,
highest level of respect should be given to women, whether they're little girls or older women.
yep,
And that is how we're going to start, by respecting our women, the potential they have, and supporting them in their cause to
yep,
elevate them to the levels they can get. Sharad, it is twice as hard being a woman serving as a counselor. It is twice as hard speaking out about any injustice because we are always attacked, viewed as the weaker sex.
yep, yep, yep,
So there is a great gap.
yep. And I
Like
just want
my
to
sister
say with
Natasha
that,
said, under the coalition government, I have recognized I've had the privilege to sit around tables where the numbers were more male than female. And former President David Granger would point it out and say, I want more women to serve, whether it's on a board, whether it's in a council. And I was happy to simply know that there was a man that saw that discrepancy and was fixing it. And I believe at that time too, if you look at how many female ministers there were, female member of parliament from the government, it would have showed that more women were getting opportunities to empower themselves. And when you start from that level, it will trickle down. When you simply say we cannot have a
agreed.
board set up and there is only one woman sitting on that board, or in many cases, none.
Like GWI,
You know,
currently no
women
women
are
on the
quite
board.
capable of making decisions, and women make great leaders.
Correct. That being said, I just wanted to ask as we wrap up, what would be your encouragement to women as we celebrate International Women's Day 2022? I think it has to move beyond just photo ops because we're gonna have a lot of photo ops in the next 24 hours, but women sit down next to men, as Natasha said, in the highest forum in this country, highest decision making body, the national parliament, and here a man ridiculing other women, belittling other women as what organizations have considered to be sexual harassment, and they said nothing. But they're gonna go to photo ops in the next 24 hours and see how much they love women, how they care, and how they're fighting on the forefront for women's right and equality and all that. That is photo op. But we want
Well,
meaningful and lasting change. Your thoughts to women?
pageantry the pageantry and the artificial dress up of an event and get people excited with decors and stuff, while it is quite nice to do those things, that really doesn't address the issues for me. And that is just like putting a band-aid on a sore, but you're not putting the right medication. If you do not have policies, if you do not implement policies, if you do not use your voice to really speak out, like you said in that instance, celebrating International Women's Day and empowering women, but when women really need representation, it is lacking. When the people that are the ones with the power to really make a difference um, choose to remain silent. They choose the side of injustice.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that is artificial. That is not empowerment. Getting women dressed up, photo ops and all of that, while nice, like I said, it is not, it will not address what is really happening within the workplace and in the grounds, within what is happening in the homes, the injustices that women face due to many reasons. I don't want to just talk about domestic violence or sexual harassment in the workplace, but these are all major things that we all know that is happening, and it is happening right in front of our eyes. You know how many women reach out to me, but because of the organization they're in, they are afraid of speaking out because of who the perpetrator might be. And if we do not have a zero tolerance stand and have policies and really have a policing system that brings people to justice, that violates women, then we're not really dealing with pushing women forward and giving them a level play field and helping to protect and empower them so they can go and be whatever they want to be. Lots of women want to be in politics, but you know what? Their families and so forth discourage them because of the environment, the the things that they've heard and seen and know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happen,
All too
right?
sad. All too sad.
Right? In the workplace, even in the teaching profession, in many government agencies and so forth. When you hear a young woman sit down with you and tell you, um, you know, um, finally feels comfortable, Kamal, I can tell you this, or this has been happening, but I am so afraid to speak out because you know what is going to happen. I'm going to lose my job. And you know, it is so disheartening. And these are the
Correct.
things that we really need to highlight and address and put policies in place and ensure that women are protected in Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
We have the
Mm-hmm.
potential to become anything that we want to become. It is shown from our little township of Bartica, birthed an MP that is doing tremendously well currently. Her education was in Bartica, started in Bartica. And I'm talking about my very own sister Jaretta Finance.
Mm-hmm.
Women all across Guyana have the potential, and there are many women. I'm not deducting from my sister Natasha and all the others and all the other female MPs doing a tremendously great job, and women serving in whatever little capacity. We must not forget that there are women in every area of Guyana doing tremendous work.
Yep.
But
Yep. Yep.
not everyone is
Well
being
said.
recognized and supported.
Yep. Well said.
And we must applaud these women for their resilience, for their dedication, the women that are dedicated towards nation building and fighting for an equal Guyana, for a fair Guyana, for the ones fighting for the women in public service that is not getting a livable salary to provide for their children, the single mothers. Um, these are all women.
Yeah.
So when we talk about women, it must not be only those who have
Right across the
accomplished
board.
great things and they're on the pedestal.
Right across the board. MP.
Mothers that are raising children that will become great people. We must celebrate them too.
Correct. Correct. Right across the board. MP St. Louis,
Right
as we
across
wrap up.
the board. Yes.
Cheryl, thank you very much. My sister Kamal has said a lot in just that short period of time, and I can hear it in her voice. And the question you asked, where are we and what is to be done? She has said a lot in relation to what has to be done. It was Maya Angelou, I believe, who said that each time a woman stands up for herself, without even knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women. And so I encourage Kamal to continue the struggle because we have a long way to go. With this PPP cabal, we've got to expect the worst and we've got to plan for it. And we have to also carry our women who we believe will be our next generation. Sharad, we also need to ensure that there is equal pay for women. We need to continue to improve gynecological, maternal, and neonatal health. So when a woman is pregnant, and as I speak about this, I remember the women who are coming from the hinterland.
Yes.
And none of us know when we get to 5, 6, 7, 8 months how that pregnancy develops and the complication that comes with it. It's sometimes, most of the times, with complications, is a life and death matter, and we know what's the condition of the health system here, much less in the hinterland. So if we don't develop that countrywide for our women, we are still taking steps back. We don't know what's happening. We have 3 ministers of health, and we still don't know what is happening with maternal and neonatal health care in this country. We want to ensure that we provide educational support for the children of single mothers. I haven't seen a dedicated plan for that. I know Minister Henry, former Minister of Education, had a plan in the ministry to ensure that those children of single parents they have equal opportunity at education. I also want to say that many of us don't teenage going into early adulthood, we don't always go the right track, and some of us end up being pregnant without being married, without a supporting family, and so on. And as young girls struggle being teenage pregnant mothers, we need to expand the early childhood daycare centers and nurseries to help them so that they can fulfill their professional aspirations. That should not be the end of life, having a child and being out of school and being not qualified. We also need to do one thing as we move on the ladder to educate our women, increase the quota of scholarship for our women and girls. That is very, very important. We want to ensure, like issues that you've talked about, Sherrod, on your previous programs. What is happening at GWI? Ensure that involvement of higher percentage of women in governance and decision making in all state organizations and institutions. So we set the example as a government, so private sector can take a leaf off of the book. But if we don't do it, then even in private sector, we're not setting the example. And so we can sit and quarrel every single day. I believe it was Angela Davis, an American politician, a woman who said, we are never assured of justice without a fight. And so we have to put system in place. We have to understand what the problem is, and we have to tackle them one by one. If we can't articulate the problem, then there will be no justice for us because we can't fight for ourselves.
Precisely.
And so, Sharon, I believe that we have a long way to go, but it's not beyond us.
True words have not been spoken. It is not beyond us. Natasha Singh Lewis, Member of Parliament, I want to thank you for spending this time with us. And also Kamal Prasad, the Regional Vice Chair, Region number 7, joining us today as well. Again, ladies, happy International Women's Day 2022. It's a privilege having you guys today, sharing your thoughts with us and guidance on this matter.
Thank you so very much for having me, Sharon.
Have a fantastic rest of the day. And do come again. You're always welcome, especially Kamal.
All right. Bye, Sharon.
Have a fantastic afternoon.
Bye, Kamal.
Bye, Natasha. Thanks for having me, Sharon. Thanks to everybody for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you as well. Have a great day indeed. Go and have a great day, folks. That's our time today. That's our time. Ensure you share the live stream before you go. Smash that emoji button, folks. Come and partner with us. You want to know how you can partner? We have Zelle available, Cash App, we got PayPal, we got MMG, we got Western Union, we got MoneyGram. Send a message or WhatsApp us at 627 6963 627 6963 627 6963. And we're going to tell you how you can come on board and partner with us. 627 6963. We got Zelle, we got Cash App, we got PayPal, MMG, we got uh, MoneyGram, we got Western Union available to us. WhatsApp us at 627 6963. We're going to give any further guidance you may need. Smash the emoji button before you go. And also, guys, share the live stream. We're going to be back in the ring tonight, 8 p.m. sharp. Ping, 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 ping. Guys, thanks for joining us today. Good to see you, Yolanda. Good to see you, Ingrid King. Good to see you, Diane Graves Zandy, Joylyn Cook. I see Tasha Selette is here as well. I love all the hearts there, Tasha. And Deborah Clark is here as well. Deborah, thanks for the thing. Deborah, thank you so much. So much. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Bella Mona, good to see you. Bella Vashti Magnol, good to see you as well. Folks, that's our time. See you back at 8 this evening. Thanks for joining our international podcast, Below the Belt. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Just remember.